The Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra just came out, and it's fair to say it has one of the most impressive spec sheets of any smartphone in 2020. But what if I told you that Xiaomi has just managed to do one better? The Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra is a spec king. It's got a 6.67 inch 120Hz AMOLED display, albeit in Full HD, up to 16GB of RAM, half a terabyte of storage, a Snapdragon 865, 5 high-resolution cameras including 8K video recording, and a 5x periscope zoom lens with 120x hybrid mode. It's got a 4500 mAh battery with 120W fast charging, 50W wireless fast charging, and 10W reverse wireless charging. It's a beast. But before we get into the first impressions of this device, we need to get out of the box. In this large and very shiny 10th anniversary box, you'll find the Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra device itself. Our model is the 12x256GB option in this transparent colourway. Also included is some documentation, a TPU case, a 120W charging brick, take note other manufacturers, and most surprising of all, a USB-C to headphone port dongle. Neat. The Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra is currently not being sold outside of China. However, if you do want to get one imported in the future, there is a way of getting the Google Play Store on it. Now, it's actually already on the phone, but when you put in a Western SIM card, you set the language to English, you can actually go into the Mi App Store and activate the Google Play services by hitting update, and then it becomes available on the home screen. Prior to doing this method, there is no kind of Google Play services or a Google Play Store on the phone whatsoever. I've been using the Google Play services on it for the past couple of days, and I think it's worked just fine. Let me make this clear first straight out of the gate. This phone is big, it's chunky, it's thick, it's heavy, it's bulky, and the quad camera module on the back dwarfs almost all of the competition. It's the first thing I noticed when I picked up the Mi 10 Ultra because I'm a right-handed person, and so when you hold this thing with your right hand, your finger kind of gets caught on the bottom of the camera module. I happen to have small to medium-sized hands, so I can only imagine if you had larger hands that this would become more uncomfortable unless you had a case on it. All in all, it feels rugged and well made. The buttons feel clicky and the haptics are tight. The fingerprint scanner is fairly quick. Typical flagship stuff really. MIUI is not going to be for everyone, and there is a fair amount of bloat installed, but I enjoy the kind of bubbly interface on this thing. The bloat is kind of to be expected though, since it's a Chinese phone and you have to actually go out of your way to change it to English if you want to use this thing and only know English. The charging is stupidly fast, so Xiaomi is claiming 0 to 100% in 23 minutes, and from what I've seen so far, that's not marketing fluff. Also, wireless charging is meant to just about double that time to around 40 minutes from 0 to 100, which is impressive for a 4500 mAh battery in wired form, let alone in wireless form as well. Of course, we'll put it through our full and thorough testing for our review coming out next week. Hit subscribe so you don't miss that. With regards to the 120x zoom stamped on the back of this thing, it's very similar to how Samsung does the 100x zoom stamped on the back of the Galaxy S20 Ultra. It's not quite 120x optical. In fact, it's only 5x optical, which I say only, that's still rather impressive. It's what you see on the P40 Pro, the P30 Pro and the Realme X3 Super Zoom. The rest of that number is actually being done with a hybrid of kind of cropping into the sensor but then also using that 5x periscope. We'll definitely be putting a lot of emphasis in the camera on our review because that is one of the most impressive sections of the phone. Let us know if you want to see any video content based around just smartphone cameras like this one, because we'll happily do that as well. Mentioning its competitors there, DxOMark recently ranked the Mi 10 Ultra above the likes of the P40 Pro and the S20 Ultra in its camera testing system, which inspires promise, but we'll be the real judge of that. For a phone that isn't coming out of China anytime soon, this is a really exciting device. It takes the best bits from pretty much every single flagship, adds in its own unique features like that crazy 120W charging, and then gives you a device that actually looks and feels like it's worth the €1,000+ that it's expected to be. I mean, just talking about that unboxing experience there, you got a full-size box and a very nice laid out package. You even got a headphone port adapter and a case in the box and a 120 watt charger in the box. That wasn't something you had to buy separately. So it does actually feel a lot like a flagship, like Xiaomi are actually doing a flagship right. And that about rounds out our first impressions and unboxing coverage of the Mi 10 Ultra. We will be doing a review next week on the website, androidauthority.com, and also on YouTube, so stay tuned, hit subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on that one. In the comments, let us know what you think about this. Are you excited for it, or is it just another phone that is going to cost way too much money and you don't want to have to go out of your way to import it? I'm actually personally hoping that they release this in Europe, because it would be really fun to get my hands on. As always, leave a like if you enjoyed today's content. I've been Ryan Thomas with Android Authority, and I'll catch you later.